Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing Season 1 of The Last of Us. Quick warning, this is probably going to be a spoiler review. I'm not going to go too nitty gritty with it, but we are going to be comparing it to the game. We are going to be looking at every episode of the full season, so there is pretty good chance that I might say something that might spoil it for you. So if you have not yet watched the show and you really want to, you have not yet played the game and you really want to, step away now and come back when you have. Now that we've cleared the room and it's safe to speak, let's get into it. The Last of Us is based on the highly successful video game of the same name. Pedro Pascal plays Joel, a damaged man who must escort Bella Ramsey's character Ellie through an apocalyptic wasteland. So let's get into the positives, the obvious one being that the casting was great here. Both Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey really did grow on me as the series went on. I do think there was a little bit of teething pain at the beginning, but it very quickly passed. Especially with Bella Ramsey, by the end of the show, I really was starting to buy her as Ellie. I don't know if the writing always helped these actors to bring these characters to life. For example, did we really need that many updates on how Ellie manages her periods between Tampax and Moon Cups? No, we didn't, but we get it anyway. I do feel like those moments could have been a little bit more profound and a little bit more hitting and maybe don't need to be repeated. I did have a few moments with both of their performance where it didn't quite feel like it was clicking. I didn't quite buy them as the character they're portraying. But I mostly think that's down to the writing, because in other moments, I couldn't buy them more. It really was a bit of a contrast of me going, and then on other occasions going, that's it. 9 times out of 10, me leaning towards saying, that's it. This might be the best set design of a TV show I have ever seen. The recreation of some scenes from the video game are haunting. They're scary. The hairs on my neck stood up because it really is crazy how accurate they are. And they really do deserve all the praise in the world for that, because it's absolutely insane that it's taken us till 2023 to realise that's all we ever wanted from these video game adaptations. Whatever game it is, it's good enough to be adapted in the first place. Shocking thought, but maybe that's a sign that you should trust the game's material. Why these studios and directors for the past 20 odd years have just decided to never play the game and not bother and just sell the IP, I have no idea. So I really do want to hammer that positive home. They knocked it out the park in that regard. And I can say the same about the soundtrack as well. It was a beautiful soundtrack in the game. It's a beautiful soundtrack here. But I do have some complaints, and I don't think you're going to like them, because everybody is gushing about this show. And trust me, look, I love this. I love this with all my heart, and therefore that is going to make me a very tough critic to please. I am that hard-loving parent who never shows it, but deep down I want my child to succeed and be at the very top and be better than I am. And that's where I'm at with this show. I didn't actually want this show to come out. I thought it could only lead to disaster. The game is perfect. You're never going to live up to it. And I will admit that I was wrong in that regard. They definitely lived up to it, but it isn't better than the game. And I've been hearing people say it is, and I'm here to settle the score. The biggest issue for me is that I thought the storytelling was incredibly rushed. The relationship between Joel and Ellie, it does seem to jump a lot, and they actually do a time jump at one point in the show. It kind of feels like cheating to me. The game gives you that downtime to have extended dialogue while you're picking up bullets or trying to find a ladder to cross over on. Those little tidbits really do flesh out that relationship, and you don't really get that here. And when they do give you those moments, they're mostly relying on the pun book. And I must be a prophet, because I swear to God, when I heard this show was coming, I said it out loud. I swear to you, they're just going to go on the pun book to make a funny little quirky relationship between the two. And they did. Do it once or twice. Don't do it 5 or 6. That's when you're pushing your luck. I don't think there's anywhere near enough infected in this show. The longer it went on and the less that we saw them, it did start to get tones of The Walking Dead, where the real enemy is the humans all along. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Let's do zombies, please. You know, how there's like loads of them in the game? They also set things up with the cordyceps being able to communicate for miles, and it just gets immediately forgotten about. It does not continue to follow its own rules. I don't like that addition. I don't see why it's been added. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't lead to anything. I can say the same about Tess being kissed rather than bitten. That was just dumb and a really weird and odd choice. It seems to be retroactively forgotten. They don't kiss anybody else in the series. They seem pretty keen on biting. Again, which seems to be the case in the game. Why was that change made? And this is why it needed more episodes. I would have gladly taken 15 episodes this season. With 15 episodes, you can have 10 full hours of your series that tell the story and develop that relationship, while also giving you about 5 hours of wiggle room, where you can do a whole episode for Bill. You can even give Tess more time. Henry, new character Kathleen, all of that stuff can be done without trading the good stuff or rushing through the story. Speaking of Kathleen, she might be my least favourite thing about the whole show. I really disliked her. I hated how important it was made to be when it literally wasn't important. I hated the casting. She wasn't threatening, she was actually kind of annoying. And she and her whole crew slammed the handbrake on this show for 2 whole weeks. If I ever rewatched this series, I swear to you, I am skipping episodes 4 and 5. There's no reason to rewatch those episodes. And that's a shame because there should be, because that's the Sam and Henry episodes. They nail it in the game. In the show, they make it all about Kathleen. And I hate Kathleen. And the reason I can't rewatch those 2 episodes is because they go out of their way to make these new people the centre of my universe and the whole importance of the show, only for them to literally all be gone and not matter at all an hour later. It's a total waste of time, and a total detour from what actually mattered, and you traded it out with stuff that doesn't matter and isn't better. And getting back to having more time, there are definitely aspects of this story that have to be played out in 2 parts. The whole section with David cannot be done in 1 episode. What do? They do it in an episode. And it completely undercuts itself. The episode itself was doing so well, until they decide to magically heal Pedro Pascal in that much time, and suddenly he's out there back at full health killing everybody. In the game, you feel that time passing, you feel like you are catching up, you feel a genuine dread and concern that something seriously wrong has happened. Here, it felt contrived, rushed, lazy, and like it's cutting corners. You should have had 1 episode where Ellie meets David, gets caught by David, cliffhanger, leave the audience in suspense for a week, come back, Pedro Pascal to save the day. Don't do it literally 5 minutes after she got kidnapped. And it's details like this where the game just still does it better. The only time for me where the show did it better was the storyline with Bill and Frank. Any other aspect that was changed, I don't think was better. And that's annoying because that seemed to be the game plan. Neil Druckmann said, if we can do it better, we do it better. Well, clearly he has a full sense of confidence in his own writing because there's only 1 aspect of it that I thought was better. Why did Joel suddenly start having panic attacks? That didn't lead to anything either. This is what I mean. It's just a little bit strange at times. Odd choices that seem to set things up but not really go anywhere. And therefore I wonder if it's just sort of decoys, distracting you from the fact that they know they haven't really developed the relationship that deeply. If you put a gun to my head and said to me, watch the show again or play the game again, I don't even have to think about it. I'm picking the game every damn time, and I'm doing it with a big fat smile on my face because this is still the best rendition of it. David's death, better in the game. Ellie and Joel's relationship, better in the game. The sense of fear and amount of clickers, say it with me, better in the game. And I could go on. Now I've bagged on this, I've complained, I've really had a go, but like I said, this has a special place in my heart. I'm always going to be there giving it tough love, wanting it to be the very best thing it can be. So I am going to notice the warts and the wrinkles. So allow me to re-establish that I am still extremely positive about this show. I may have issues, I might not think it's perfect, but it is still the best damn video game adaptation we have to date. Excellent performances, made with love, and hopefully the start of a new trend that when we actually get a video game adaptation, we can have some faith and hope that it's actually going to be a faithful adaptation that's good. Hopefully this is the pioneer that starts that trend. I'm going to give season 1 of The Last of Us an 8 out of 10. Finally, something that isn't crap. 2023 has been a really tough year for me so far, so I am very glad to see something above a 5 out of 10 for a change. A quick caveat before we go, I am absolutely terrified for Season 2. I do not like The Last of Us Part 2. What I hate even more is people who sit there and say, oh, you didn't get it. No, I got it. I got it 110%. It was almost impossible not to get. It's literally shoved down your throat at every turn. What I don't like is having characters I love be treated like the shit on my shoe. And I certainly don't like manipulative writing that forces me to feel certain ways about certain things. Abby can pet dogs. Ellie can kill dogs. Therefore, I like Abby. Yeah, if only the human brain were that simple. I know what you did. And I also hate that if people dislike that game, apparently that makes you a transphobe, a homophobe, a virgin cuck, I believe it was, or a soy boy beta or whatever, and this is coming from the people who created the game. Yeah, he didn't respect you if you didn't like his art, which says a lot about Neil Druckmann for you. Learn to take it on the chin and understand constructive criticism, my friend. And I don't think he's going to change anything. I think he's going to double down and just hammer his points home. Because he wasn't impressed with you the first time you disagreed with him. He wasn't reasonable then. Can't see him being reasonable now. So I've got to be honest, I am dreading Season 2. I think we are in for a shitstorm. Not necessarily from the quality of the show, but just the absolute divide it's going to cause between the fans. And the arguments that are going to come too. Wish us good luck, people. Wish us good luck. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen The Last of Us? Have you played The Last of Us? What do you think about the show? What do you think about the game? What do you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, you can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.